If you're a young person today, a young person's definition of wealthy might be a multi-billionaire with a private jet and a private island, where I think 80 years ago, people's definition of wealthy was a 3-bedroom house and 1 car and a happy family. And so we live in a world where like aspirations have inflated by such a dramatic degree. And that was why I get back to the exercise. If nobody was watching, how would I live? The truth is because virtually nobody is watching, except the people who I really love and admire. And they're gonna admire me for things that have nothing to do with the kind of car that I drive. When I drive this down the road, people are gonna stop and say, look at that guy. Look at her. That's amazing. Like, they're so successful. I admire them, I respect them. And by and large, that is almost never true, because no one's thinking about you as much as you are. They're not paying attention to your car or your clothes or your house. They're busy worrying about themselves. Jimmy Carr, who I think you've had on the show before, is that right? Mm-hmm. Love Jimmy Carr. He said this a couple weeks ago. I heard it, and it was one of those I had to stop and write it down because it was so profound. He said, in your 20s, people worry about what other people think of them. In your 30s, you say, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. And in your 40s, you finally realize the truth, which was nobody was thinking about you the whole time. They were busy worrying about themselves. And look, that's not black and white. Of course, people think about you and look at you and sometimes judge you, but not nearly to the extent that we think. If you're unhappy with your life, that if you had more money, those problems would go away. Sometimes it can be true. It's not automatically false. It's just easier to assume that that's true than it actually is. And so I guarantee you that every single person listening to this right now has some degree of that. If I had a little bit more money, my problems would go away, even if they don't necessarily know it or not. So much of spending is a psychological exercise. Money should be a tool that you use to become a better version of yourself, to become a happier, more content version of yourself. But when it's controlling your personality, it's no different than like any other addiction, where it's forcing you to do things that you otherwise don't want to do. And that can manifest on either end of the side. Either people can't stop spending or they cannot spend enough. A lot of financial advisors will tell you one of the biggest problems that they have are clients who have saved enough money for retirement. Good job, you saved for 40 years. You maxed out your 401k, you did everything you were supposed to, and now you're 70 years old and you have enough money to travel and play golf, and you won't do it. And I think it's because they become so accustomed to the identity of I'm a saver. But money is a very clear window that if you see how somebody engages with money, you're like, oh, I understand your insecurities. I understand your aspirations. I understand your self-confidence. I understand what you think of other people. But the point is that it's a psychological itch. It's not just, I want the nice car because nice cars are better. There's a social signaling. You're signaling to others, you're signaling to yourself. It's a trophy for yourself of what you've overcome. The more I dug into it, the more it was so clear of like, spending is not just on material stuff. It's not just, I want to buy this car or this house or these clothes or these jewelry because it's nice. It's, I'm trying to send a signal to others or to myself of what I've overcome. One of the ways I thought about this in my own life was, if I was on a deserted island with maybe just me and my family, nobody could see how we were living. Nobody can see your house, nobody can see your car, nobody can see your clothes, nobody can see your jewelry. How would I live? For me, and I think most people in that exercise, you immediately gravitate away from status and towards utility. Like, I would not want a Lamborghini. I'd probably want like a pickup truck, something that has like more utility. If nobody could see it, I would just want utility. I would not want an enormous house. I would want a house with a nice view, because I'm not trying to show off to other people. I just want something that is calming and serene to myself. And so once you start seeing the stark difference between utility and status, my own personal desire to show off materially happened when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And looking back, I didn't know this then, but the reason why is because I had nothing else to offer the world. I had no intelligence, I had no wisdom, I didn't know how to love anyone. I had nothing else to offer. Friends, family, spouses, whatever it would be. And so the last remaining lever, if you're trying to get attention and respect, is, well, look, I have no intelligence to offer, I have no wisdom to offer. Maybe people will admire me for my car. That was why I wanted it. Have a little bit more to offer to my wife, to my friends, to my family, to employers and customers, whatnot. Then my desire for those things has gone down. Not to zero, but it's gone down. There's a great Warren Buffett quote where he says, success in life is when the people who you want to love you do love you. And key to that is, like, you have to ask the question, like, who do you want to love you? And for a lot of people, the quick knee-jerk reaction is everybody. And so you want to have a nice car, nice clothes, nice jewelry, because you think everyone's going to stop and stare. It doesn't matter how big my house is. If I'm trying to signal, all that matters is my house is bigger than yours. That's true for all wealth. There's no such thing as you are wealthy once you have X number of dollars. That does not exist. Everything is relative to other people. And the truth is, like, we live in a world of such material abundance where the majority of people listening to this will have some sort of shelter and a car and can buy clothes and whatnot. And because relative to a lot of history, we live in material abundance. The competition, the arms race for bigger, nicer things is extraordinary. And it's way more powerful and potent today than it's ever been for two reasons. One is social media. So I am now aware of the homes that other people live in, the cars that they drive, the clothes, the vacations that they take. I'm now aware of it in a way that we were not 15 years ago. The other thing is, because the internet has democratized access to audience and attention, the ability to become extremely rich is much more powerful than it's ever been. It's still rare, of course, but it's easier today than it's ever been to become very, very wealthy, even if only a small number of people are doing it, because your potential customer base is now the entire world. 100 years ago, if I was a businessman, my customer base was whoever lived in my town. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a businessman, your customer base can be the entire world. And so it's easier to make a huge fortune. And because of social media, once you make that fortune, people are probably going to know about it, because a lot of those people who become very rich are going to say, look at how I'm living. And so you have this like trickle down aspiration of everyone else being like, my definition of wealthy. Yeah. And I think it's true that for most people who are extremely successful, who are the ones that people tend to look up to, like the extreme outlier successes, a lot of the reason they're so successful financially and in their career is because they've devoted every second of their life to that career, which most of the time comes at the expense of everything else. So they are very successful, made a lot of money, and that came at the expense of their health, their relationships with their spouses, their children. So I make the point in the book that of the top 10 richest men in the world, there are cumulative 13 divorces among the top 10 richest people. And it's a small sample size, like you can't really say that much with that, but this is a group that is almost universally admired, particularly among young men. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, how amazing would it be to have that much money? But if you dig into their whole life, not just their net worth, not just the house and the jet that they have, but if you look at holistically their entire life, you're like, I don't know. It's not that great. It's one thing to admire someone if you can pick bits and pieces. I want his house and her car and his career and his physique, but you can't pick bits and pieces. You have to take the whole thing. And once you take the whole thing, you realize that like a lot of the people who you may have been looking up to either did not have a better life than you did, or it was just marginally better in a way that was easy to overlook. The quote is, everyone is jealous of what you've got. Nobody's jealous of how you got it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so easy to overlook. One of the things I write in the book is what's called the reverse obituary, which is it's a very good, helpful exercise to write down. It's kind of morbid, but what do you want your obituary to say? Kind of a weird thing, but for me, everyone's different. But for me, I would want it to say, Morgan was a good father, a good husband, a good friend, helped his community, was a good worker. That's what I would want it to say. Never in a million years in that obituary would I want it to say what my income was, how big my house was, how many times I went on vacation, how many horsepower my car had. Like, it's ridiculous to think that that's what it would be. I would want it. You instantly drift towards the things that you actually want in life. And of course, it's going to be different for everyone, but I found it a helpful thing because you realize that it would be completely absurd to put the things that I might be chasing in my life in my obituary. And so if in any given day, in any given year, you're like, I got to earn a higher income and I want to buy a bigger house and I got to need a new car and do you see they came out with this watch? But at the end of your life, that's not going to matter. What's going to matter is, were you a good spouse, a good parent, a good worker? Were you honest? Were you a good friend? Were you funny? That's it. That's what's going to matter because that's what you want in your obituary. Every month I save and every month my net worth goes up. And they cannot bring themselves into switching gears and going in the other direction. And for a lot of those people, the money is in full control over their identity. It's telling them how to live, what to like, what to aspire to, what to enjoy. The money is totally in control of their personality. And it's just as dangerous and just as detrimental as you when you were a teenager of I can't stop spending. It's and both of those the money is like playing the marionette doll of your life. It's telling you exactly what to do and when to do it. If you are already an unhappy person, if you're already anxious, if you're already depressed, by and large, having more money will not help you, at least that much. It might help you a little bit around the margins. If you start as an unhappy, depressed, anxious person. If you are already a happy, content, joyful, laughing person, having more money will give you a better life. So in either direction, it's just leveraging who you already were. It's not going to change you that much. It's just going to leverage who you already were. Very similar to, like, they say this about power. Like, once you gain power in politics or something, it just leverages the personality that you already had. Money is very much like that. And so it's not a panacea in the sense of like, oh, like if you're miserable, like if you had more money, it's going to clear up your problems. It can make some of your problems a little bit easier to deal with. But I mean, think about it in these stark terms. Let's say you are overweight and unhappy. You hate your job and you're recently divorced and your kids won't talk to you, but you live in a mansion. It has a Ferrari in the driveway and you got all kinds of fancy stuff. Is that a good life? If everything else in your life sucked and you woke up every morning going, oh, I got to go to work today. I hate my job. I can't stand my job. I'm lonely. I'm miserable. I'm overweight. I can't sleep. I'm addicted to alcohol, whatever it might be. Of course, it's a terrible life. The house and the car don't matter at all. But you can flip that around and say, like, let's say you live in a very modest middle-class house and you drive a 10-year-old Honda Civic, but you love your job. You love your coworkers. You have a great relationship with your spouse. Your kids admire you. You have your friends over for a barbecue every Friday night. Materially, it's very modest. You have what you need. You're not impoverished. You're not homeless. You have the food that you want, the shelter that you want, but you would be an absolute maniac to choose the miserable person in the mansion versus the content, happy person in the middle-class house. If your goal is to live a good life, it's psychotic to pick one over the other. That's what I make this point in the book of, like, the very simple question, will a big house make you happier?
I think it will make you depressed if it's empty.
Yes.
Because that's how I felt. I was like, I'd rather be in a studio apartment alone than a big house on my own.
Right. I had a similar realization to you a couple years ago when I took my family and I went to Maui for a vacation. And I love Maui. It's my favorite place in the world. And now I have kids, so I'm building sandcastles with my kids on the beach in Maui. And that, I remember thinking, like, this is a 10 out of 10. This is peak life for me. Building sandcastles with my kids, everyone's happy in the sun. But then I had this realization of, like, if that's a 10, playing with Legos at home on the living room floor with my kids is like a 9. Like, it's really close. Because the realization was, what I enjoy is like quality time with my kids. And I think a lot of the reason that people like travel is not because they like getting on an airplane and flying around the world and being jet lagged and cramped into a small hotel. What they like is uninterrupted time away from work, away from all the other stresses of everyday life. That's what they actually enjoy. That's what they like travel. It's not necessarily the location. It's like what the location is doing for you. So the question of, will a big house make you happier? It will, to the extent that it makes it easier to have your friends and family over. Because your friends and family are the ones who are actually making you happy. And so the answer can be, will a nice house make you happy? The answer can be yes, if you're using it for the right reasons. There was this article in the New York Times, this is probably 10 or 15 years ago. And the article said, 2 things happened to Julia Roberts this week. 1, she won the Academy Award. And 2, she found out her husband was cheating on her. And so the column said, pop quiz, did Julia Roberts have a good week? And it's like, you'd be a fool to say yes. It was probably the worst week of her life, I imagine.
Yeah.
But what we see from the outside was dolled up in a beautiful dress, accepting the highest honor of her career and saying, like, wow, that must be an amazing. But it gets back to, once you see the full picture, you're like, nah, it's not as easy as it seems. I think if there is a formula that I lay out in the book, and I make the point that, like, there's no formula for how to spend money. But if I did try to make a formula for a pretty good life, and this extends way outside of money, the formula for a pretty good life is independence plus purpose. If you want to say, like, how can I be a happy person? You need to be independent. You need to be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it with. And you need some kind of purpose that is higher than yourself. And that could be a million different things. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be career, it could be religion, whatever it might be. I think it is very difficult to imagine anyone having a good life without those 2 things. If your entire life and your schedule is dictated by somebody else, of you have to go to this job that you don't like. You have to have a long commute that you don't like. You have to do this when you don't want to do it. It's hard to be happy. And if you don't have any kind of purpose that you're doing it for, it's difficult to be happy. And so the idea that, to me, the best thing to spend money on is independence.